What is something you've unlearned about aging?
Oh, I think aging now, 2025, is a complete 180 from what it was for my parent. Complete 180. You know, when they say 40 is the new 30, 20, whatever, it is just so true.
Hello, my honeys. Welcome to today's video. I have Healthy Emmie here, and she is going to be sharing with us how she stays youthful and how she is seemingly aging in reverse. If you're new here, my name is Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, the creator of the Slim program and Slim supplements. So if you want a custom meal plan and workout plan and do exactly what Healthy Emmie does, you can visit the link in the description bar. So the categories that we are going to be going over today are nutrition, supplements, skincare, fitness, and mindset. Okay, so starting out with nutrition, Healthy Emmie has followed the Slim protocol, whole food plant-based, for over a decade at this point. And if you want to see the exact plate builder that we call it that she follows, I have a free plate builder calculator in the description bar, so you can enter all your information and it will tell you exactly what plate builder you should follow. But I did want to have you talk about what your biggest no-nos are in the foods that you know to absolutely stay away from. Of course, the majority of her diet is made up of whole, real plant foods. We don't do animal products, so technically vegan, although we don't like to use the word vegan because it doesn't encapsulate a whole food plant-based diet. So the majority of what she's eating are whole, real foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes that don't have ingredients lists. But share with us the foods that you know you absolutely have to stay away from and why that is for you.
Well, I would say right off the bat, I always stay away from any foods that are highly processed, prepackaged meals, anything like that. Secondly, I've learned that I really have to avoid caffeine. It really interferes with my sleep. Oils of any kind, I avoid. And what else?
Well, can you talk about why it is that you avoid those foods, like the processed foods?
I think after eating a whole food plant-based diet for so long, it's just, number one, something I don't even think about purchasing or eating. And number two, it's because the whole food plant-based diet just makes me feel so alive and healthy and well. And it's so simple that there's really no need to go for a processed food that's advertised as being time-saving.
How do you feel when in the situations where you're at a restaurant or, traveling or at a party, whatever it is, and you have those foods? How do you end up feeling?
Not that well, to tell you the truth, kind of sluggish. It's a noticeable difference from what I'm used to eating, but I just muscle through if it's a special event and try not to make too big of a deal about it.
We were talking about this. We just got back from vacation, and Healthy Emmie was talking about being not yet a grandparent, but when that time comes, how you'll be quote-unquote older grandparents.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about last night how as you get older, paying attention to your health, it always is a necessity throughout your entire life, but you have a sense of invincibility and more honestly resilience when you're younger. And as you get older, this is something that this is a non-negotiable, to take care of yourself and to eat this way.
I think when you're in fairly good shape, as I feel that I am at 65, when I think about how old I am and how much older I'm getting, it's a shock to me because I'm in good shape and I hope to continue that. So I don't feel elderly, and I don't think I will within the next 10 years or so.
Yeah, and when I think about your age and how old like Mimi and Papa and Nana and Tata, my grandparents were, how you're coming up on the age that I knew them at, and they seem like completely different worlds.
Yeah.
Because you have so much more knowledge about how to take care of yourself.
Agree. And I knew none of my grandparents. I knew one. I take that back. I had one grandmother who passed away at 69 years old. So really, we are living longer. Obviously, that's not something new that I'm sharing. But if you take care of yourself, you can really prolong your healthy years.
Tell me about how dairy affects you and how you learned about how dairy affects you. Because we don't do dairy. We don't drink or eat dairy. How did you learn about how it was affecting you?
Well, right before Emily started this lifestyle, I was going to have a facial, and I was in my 50s, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I must have been in my 50s. And I said to her, I don't understand why I still have acne around my chin as if I was a hormonal teenager. And she said, well, do you drink milk? I said, I drink tons of milk. She goes, well, oh, excuse me. She goes, well, that's it. The cows are so force-fed these hormones to continue to produce milk that it's reacting in you. And that was such an enlightening, eye-opening moment for me. And then, ironically, Emily took up this lifestyle, and it just built more and more the evidence that, we're really, as humans, not meant to consume all this dairy. And it's helped me dramatically, my skin especially.
Yeah, I remember Dad saying that he hated milk, but he drank it because he thought he was supposed to.
Yes.
I remember when I was 16, my New Year's resolution was to drink more milk.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I thought that I was supposed to.
Same.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about skincare. So I learned that you could have the best intentions with your skincare, but if your skincare contains super harsh chemicals, it will actually speed up the aging process.
Interesting.
And this is why a lot of younger people are starting to look older, because they're ODing on this harsh skincare, and it has ingredients like formaldehyde and things that break down the skin's barrier, and your elastin and your collagen will start to break down, and you'll start to age faster, and the skin will become less resilient. So skincare, of course, is something that we have to pay the utmost attention to as we get older, but you also have to make sure that the skincare that you're using is not harsh. It's not something that's going to work against what your skin is trying to do. It's something that is gentle and is so gentle that you could even eat it. And we're so grateful to the sponsor of today's video, which is KPS Essentials. Healthy Emmie is obsessed. I'll pop up some screenshots. She got to try the skincare line, and her reaction, she fell in love. So first, I just want you to speak candidly to me, because we haven't talked about this, because I wanted to save it for the video. Why do you love it so much? You've tried, she said if she could come back in another life and be anything, you'd be like a dermatologist, something in the skincare realm. She loves skincare. So tell me why, because you've tried so many. Why do you love this so much? What makes this so different for you?
Well, as Emily alluded to, having been around for a very long time, and for those of you gals who are the same age as I am and remember products like Sea Breeze, these alcohol toners that we used to put all over our skin so that it was so dry, and that was supposed to be cleansing, this could not be more polar opposite. What I love about it, number one, is when I finish cleansing my face, it feels like it never has before. It feels plump. It feels like, we're learning now about the skin barrier, how important it is not to strip that away, that it remains, yet my skin is clean. The second thing I like about it is that skincare is something that we always race through. We wash, quick, scrub. This is a moment for you to do something for yourself. I feel it's an element of self-care. And you start with this wonderful aromatherapy cleansing oil. Again, the thought of putting oil on my face in the past would have been an absolute no-no, but this is not your grandmother's oil of Olay. You put in a small amount, 2-3 pumps. You'd like to put more, trust me, because it's so wonderful. And as you're massaging it into your face, you're to take a huge inhale, so it becomes almost like your little spa treatment every day, and you will be amazed how just taking that one big cleansing breath puts you in a different space. Especially at the end of the day, it calms you down, or in the morning, it gets you ready. That's how this got me hooked.
I will say I have this one as well, and I use this in the shower, and like you, I was so nervous to use this because it's an oil, and oil has always broken out my skin, always, and all of my products are oil-free. I'm so sensitive to oil, and I had the same exact experience. Like I said, I use it in the shower, and you take that nice deep breath. It's hard to describe what your skin feels like after that. It doesn't even feel like your own skin. No. It is like, you can feel, first, it's so smooth, and I can almost feel like there's this protective barrier between my skin and all the toxins in the outside world. So I love this one too. And I ration this like I'm in World War II.
I know, look how much of that
It goes by so fast, and I'm using the tiniest amount because I love it so much. But we love KPS.
Yeah. May I say a little bit about this? Step 2 is the brightening cream cleanser. And in my head, I always want something that's going to exfoliate gently. Because again, back to the apricot scrubs and all the stuff we used to do to try and scrub away our skin problems was a disaster. This is a chemical exfoliant. It tightens, exfoliates, and refines. You put it on after the aromatherapy oil is taken off, and you leave it on for a couple of minutes. Trust me, it's only a couple of minutes. In the morning, what I do is I put it on, and then I go make the bed. And I come back and continue. So you work it into your morning or evening routine. And it is a great product. In the beginning, you'll see some stuff come to the surface, but ironically, it comes to the surface gently, not in a big red blotchy breakout. So you know that it's working. And again, a wonderful, wonderful product.
Yeah, so she's clearly obsessed, and they're offering 50% off of your order, which is wonderful. Insane. Yeah. And they have a money back guarantee. So like you may as well try. Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can get your money back. Right. You have nothing to lose. So we love KPS, and that's why she looks so beautiful and youthful. Okay, so now we are going to talk about supplements. We are not huge pills, potions people to replace a healthy lifestyle. We really look at the word supplements as what it's intended to be. I think people have, I just thought of something very clever. People have mistaken supplements as a synonym for the word replacements. And so they don't have a healthy lifestyle. So they take all these things to think that that's going to be a one-for-one replacement. It's not. You absolutely must have a healthy lifestyle and supplement on top of that. So some of the supplements that Healthy Mummy uses.
Oh yeah, my Brazil nuts.
And why do you take these quiz?
I take one a day because they are loaded with selenium.
And selenium, if you're not taking one of these, unless you're eating tons and tons of mushrooms, you're probably going to have trouble getting on a plant-based diet. But you only want to take one. If you take too many, selenium toxicity is a real thing.
Right. So this jar was, I buy a big bag. It lasts me forever. One nut a day in the morning. It's great.
Yeah, I take it medicinally like you would take a pill. Next up, this looks familiar. Slim supplements. So Healthy Mummy, this is the B12, and there's also vitamin D3. Because we do eat a plant-based diet, you do have to make sure that you are taking B12. You're not going to get it if you don't. And then also vitamin D3. I created the vitamin D3 because when I went to get my annual physical, I was very low in vitamin D because I never see the sun. I'm a crazy person about the sun. So 43% of Americans are deficient, and there's a correlation between low vitamin D3 levels, low vitamin D levels, and inflammation. And inflammation is the handshake emoji with aging, because chronic inflammation is going to speed up the aging process. So we want to make sure that all of our levels are in check. B12, D3, it's linked to mood and emotion as well. Low mood is going to be a symptom of low vitamin D. And when your mood is low and your energy is low, B12 is linked to energy, you're not going to get out and go walking and do your exercise routine and have that motivation. So make sure that you're supplementing with these. You also, Healthy Mummy, use the Live It Up greens, so I'll link these below, but tell us about why you enjoy these.
I actually like the berry flavor especially, and I mix it in with my morning juice, just a teaspoon, and whir it up with my frother, and it's delicious, and it's a healthy way in your head to know that you're getting a good start every morning.
Yeah, I think part of it too, like you said, of course, there's live probiotics in there, so it's helping with your gut microbiome. The gut is the second brain. I just touched a little bit on how making sure that you're feeling emotionally up to living a healthy lifestyle is so important. So making sure that you are consuming probiotics is a great thing to do. But also, like you said, when you start your day with this green juice, you just feel good about yourself. You're happy, you're motivated. It's a reminder to yourself that you're on your own team.
Yeah, it sets the plan.
Yeah. Okay, so I have oats here because Healthy Mummy mixes flaxseed in with her oats. I'm going to talk about the benefits of that and then just let her walk through what she does with her breakfast in the morning. So flax seeds contain lignans, which are a type of phytoestrogen that helps regulate estrogen levels. As you get older, your estrogen levels dramatically decline. And if you're coming from, Western culture, eating a very high diet, you probably have very high estrogen levels to start with. And so when you experience that sharp decline, that's where all the symptoms of menopause come from. The hot flashes, the mood swings, everything that comes along with it. So by having flax seeds daily, 1 tablespoon ground of flax seeds, you're helping regulate your estrogen levels. Talk to us about your breakfast.
Every morning I have a bowl of Bob's Red Mill quick oats with this flaxseed mixed in. And again, as I've said, I have this little special drawer that I'm allotted in our kitchen that has all my mix-ins in these great ball jars. I don't know, I must have had a former life in the 1920s. It makes me incredibly happy. And I mix this up, I set it aside until after my walk and come back and add in my carrots and my raisins and my blueberries. And
get the mason jars.
All my mix-ins. And after my walk or before my yoga, it's summertime, so I go out for my walk first because it's 1,000 degrees later on. And in the winter, I do my yoga first, and then I go on my walk when it warms up a bit. And in between that is my oatmeal. These are my fix-ins, hemp hearts and pumpkin seeds and nuts. And of course, you can't really pile. I just put a little bit on just for some crunch. Chia seeds, and then not just any old cinnamon, but Ceylon cinnamon. I sprinkle on top the blueberries.
The jury's out on how to pronounce this. I learned it was Ceylon, but I've heard otherwise.
Okay.
That it might be Ceylon, it might be Ceylon, and it might be Salon.
Oh, jeez.
But the reason why we want to use this is because cassia cinnamon is the regular cinnamon you find in the grocery store. If the cinnamon you're getting in the grocery store isn't labeled, it just says cinnamon, then it's cassia cinnamon because that's the cheaper one. This is the more expensive one. But cassia cinnamon in too large of amounts is bad for the liver. I eat a lot of cinnamon, so we keep it to the good stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about your fitness.
Okay.
So if somebody were to ask you that question, what would you say?
I would say that I was always an active child, always outdoors, always running around, active in school, sedentary in college for sure. That sort of slowed me right down. And then, sort of went into marriage and motherhood where my activity was mostly chasing these kids around. After that, I did 15 years of running. And now in my retirement years, what I'm really just interested in is staying active, staying moving, staying limber, and heart and bone healthy. So I do walk every day, year-round here in New England. It would really have to be way below zero for me not to go out. If you have the right gear, you can still go out in the wintertime. I won't go out in the ice, obviously. And if it's going to be 100 degrees, then I go out at 6 o'clock in the morning. You'd be surprised at how many people are out that early. And I walk 3 miles a day. And then I do yoga. I do a warm-up. I do a yin yoga series. I do arm work. And I do lift weights, which is so important, especially in our age group, for bone health and balance and osteoporosis. And I'm following the Slim program for weights. And notice it's amazing how your body will respond if you put it through the paces. And this is I'm not lifting hundreds of pounds, but I'm increasing the weight. And I'm telling you, you feel so much better because you feel a little stronger. And at 65, that's a really good feeling.
When I first, not to bring this back to me, but when I first started lifting weights, I noticed a difference when I would bend down and open up a drawer, or when I was just moving becomes so much easier because your muscles are so much stronger. Yeah. But I've been teaching Healthy Mummy about progressive overload. We do have my wedding next year, so we're both getting ripped for my wedding.
Ripped, I tell you.
And I'm telling her about the importance of, things like yoga are great, but the way that I describe it is like if you are building a sculpture, right, out of clay, yoga and Pilates is like the toothbrush at the end when you're doing all the fine tuning. But if you want to build beautiful shape and tone, you're not going to get that from the toothbrush. You're going to get that from chipping away and molding the clay, and that's where lifting weights comes in, and lifting heavy weights. So doing like little 2-pound dumbbells, that's the toothbrush. That's great for the fine tuning. But if you really want to become sculpted and toned and change the shape of your arms and of your body, you do need to lift heavier weights. I was talking to my friend Michaela about this, how the shape of my body has changed over the past 4 years, I would say, to more of an hourglass shape as opposed to more of a, starting out as more of a rectangle shape, because I've worked on growing my shoulders and growing my back, growing hips and glutes, that it creates this beautiful illusion of an hourglass. My waist has stayed the same this whole time. It's just the back has gotten bigger, the shoulders have gotten bigger. That's from lifting heavy weights. So as you get older, the yoga, the Pilates is fantastic for keeping you moving. But if you really want to build favorable shape, you do have to lift heavier weights. And so the Slim program is a great asset to that. Whether you're working out at home or at the gym, we have plans for both. So you can check that in the description bar. Now I want to talk a little bit about mindset, so I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
Sure.
What is something you've unlearned about aging?
Oh, I think aging now, 2025, is a complete 180 from what it was for my parent. Complete 180. You know, when they say 40 is the new 30, 20, whatever, it is just so true. Women now in their retirement years look nothing like the grandmothers of my past. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I think our lives are extending, and I think that we're hitting it head on, that we don't have to just slide into oblivion, that we can stay active and be lifelong learners and keep our bodies in good shape with minimal, really, effort.
By the way, she has no idea what we're filming when we come over here. I literally just show up and ask her questions. So these are very candid, real responses. If you could go back and give your 30-year-old self a piece of health, wellness, and remember, health and wellness is anything in this area, what piece of advice would you give?
Stop drinking alcohol. Get the best sleep that you can. I had terrible sleep from 25 to 40. Probably the whole time I was nursing, working nights, terrible sleep. Sleep is enormously important. Not drinking alcohol, learning to say no to things you don't want to do. And foods. I wish I had started this lifestyle long ago. Refined foods, sodas, all that junk. I wish I had known that then.
I was looking up class 1 carcinogens the other day. I don't say this to scare anybody, but just to build awareness about how much of a connection there is between how well or ill you are and the lifestyle that you live. Shift work is considered a carcinogen. Working night shifts is considered a carcinogen, which is, carcinogen means likelihood of causing cancer, which is crazy. You could be the healthiest person in the world in terms of what you eat and you work out, but if your sleep is messed up, sleep is unbelievably important, or else we wouldn't do it for a third of our lives. This is a big one for you. What role has spirituality played in your wellness journey? We are very spiritual.
Everything. Another big change that I never saw coming. And then things happened in my life that caused me to just, it's so hard to describe, not look for answers, but look for comfort, I think. That's probably how I could best describe it off the cuff. But it has saved me so many times when really unexpected bad things have happened, on how to handle them, how to move on, how to support others while still saving yourself. It's been a great journey, and it's ongoing. I'm still learning, but it's nothing new. We're talking about the Stoics from thousands of years ago. It's a great thing to sort of peek into, to sort of scratch at if you're interested.
Yeah, we love Eckhart Tolle, Michael Singer. I truly tell people that those teachings have saved my life. So great books are The Untethered Soul and The Power of Now. I tell people to start with the untethered soul. The power of now is quite cerebral and it's water through the fire hose.
Yeah.
So start with the untethered soul and listen to his podcast, Michael Singer's podcast. He is a genius. How do you stay motivated even when it feels hard to show up for yourself, when it's freezing and raining and you don't want to go for your walk?
That's a really good question, and I'm sure it affects everybody, because it does affect everybody. It's not every day is a jump out of bed, I can't wait to go do this. It simply becomes part of your life. It's a Nike just do it kind of thing. We were at the beach, as you know, last week, and there's a family next to us with these 4 beautiful children, and one of them was having a tough time. And the grandmother said, just make yourself do it. Just do it. Go do something else instead of sitting here crying. And it's so true. The first step is the hardest. After that, everything's gravy.
Yeah, I talk about, I'm not motivated, I'm committed.
Yeah.
How do you stay motivated to go to the gym? I don't. There are days I don't want to go, but you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you do these things as non-negotiables. And it's a non-negotiable part of your day, and it's who I am and it's what I do. And I haven't missed a day of movement in over a decade. I just don't miss. I feel worse if I don't do it. I feel worse if I don't do these things. What's hard now is difficult later, and what's difficult now is hard later. So you have to choose the hard now for the delayed gratification. Instant gratification always has the down that comes after it. Well, that's all I got.
Okay.
Anything else for you?
Nothing.
All right. Well, thank you, Healthy Mommy. Everything that we talked about is linked down below. Slim Program KPS. Thank you, KPS, for sponsoring this video. We love you. Okay, my question for you is, what is one thing from this video, either, a food we talked about, or the Ceylon cinnamon, or the spirituality, that you are going to implement? Let us know in the comments. We love you, and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.